welcome to Rendered, the show that uncovers the spark of bringing food to table. I am your host, Intoxicate Kate Schlientz, and I am very excited for today's guest, who's a non-restaurateur and chef. However, he is working a lot with small business owners, and I thought it was really important to have him on. It is Chaz Tanase, who is the co-founder and CEO of GoNation. Chaz, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I want to really kind of start with what GoNation is for those people who haven't heard of it, because I think it's a fabulous app.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'm happy to be here. And that's the biggest question is always what GoNation is. And we've been modeling the answer more and more as the years go on. But basically, it's a platform that helps small businesses, especially restaurants, connect with their customers better online. And the way that we do this is we have an online, we'll call it real-time directory, where they can go on and they could promote freely to their general area. And users are on everywhere from Boston, Massachusetts to Miami. And depending on your area, there's more than others. But if you can get one person for free, then I say, why not, right? And then the other side of it is that business page that the owners get for free and get the update also powers their website and gives them a full mobile experience online for their own website, where they get to update all their information in 2 taps on a mobile device very easily.
Which I think in this landscape is so important, and we will definitely get to that a little bit. I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of your backstory and why and how this all kind of came together with your co-founders.
Yeah, it was there's a bunch of stories that kind of come together and then make one, and then that's kind of like what the product we have today. But the first one was I was just a nightclub promoter that did really well with promoting small businesses and nightclubs in Connecticut, Miami area, New York. And there was this huge disconnect that I saw and a void in the industry where small businesses, they didn't know how to connect with the customer or the people in the area. So they would have promoters do it. And social media wasn't filling the void, because once they got their following in social media, it was all pay to play. So if they didn't pay, they weren't reaching the amount of people that they thought they were going to. And it became a lot of work that they didn't have time for, and a huge learning curve for them. So, I built a platform that was just originally to let small businesses sign up for free and let them promote freely with no limitations of how many people they could reach on my platform. And the way that I was making money to fund this was to build small business websites on the side. And then, as we were building these small business websites, we realized that the data that we had in GoNation was the same as the data that was in these small business websites. And a couple of owners in the beginning, they're like, oh, Chaz, you charge me $3,000 or $5,000 for this awesome, beautiful website. But every time I need a change, I have to call you, or I have to go into this crazy CMS and update it. But you gave me this free platform that I can change in 2 clicks. Why can't I just change it on your platform and automatically update my website? I was like, yeah, it's a really good point, but I don't have the technology to do that. So that's where we're at. And the calls started coming in a little bit more than we anticipated, with the same exact statement throughout Connecticut and Westchester. And we're like, you know what? Let's make our technology talk to these websites. And instead, what we did was we built a technology that allows us to take the information from our business page, our free business page, and generate a real-time mobile website in 30 seconds.
Well, I love it because you have empowered chefs to be able to make these changes, and small business owners to make these changes. But I think it's also a really great tool for the consumer base. Was the mission of GoNation more small business driven, or did the mission kind of come together to offer, this amazing app that's kind of twofold for both parties?
It started off as a free platform that didn't build websites, that was only to help a person find out where they should spend their time and money. And what that means is that a business can freely promote to them. So when you look at the model, it's like, how do I find out where I'm going to go right now? If the world was open and it was, 3 months ago, no one knew how to spend their time and money. They kind of figured it out, and they spent time trying to figure out where they were going to spend time. And it's not easy. So what we wanted to do was we just wanted to connect the two, like be the bridge. Like, hey, small businesses, promote anything that you want whenever you want and get it to as many people as possible. And hey, people, if you want to know what everything, what everyone is doing and what businesses are doing right now, this is the platform for you. So it was just the bridge to connect the two. And then it turned into, well, we're only solving it on our platform. But the website, which is where most of the traffic is going, it's where the Yelps are directing, the Facebooks are directing, the Instagrams are directing, the Googles are directing, and where the most traffic actually is, the best real estate is the small business website. We didn't have any control over that. And we were still ones that were, building it. So we're like, why would we not go after where the traffic is and try to help them really connect with their existing customer base, because this is where they are. So that's when we kind of made the bridge of our own platform, mix with other platforms, including their website.
Well, I think it's wonderful because people are more apt. I mean, obviously this is pre-coronavirus. We're really interested in taking day trips and actually, investing the time and money and traveling to another town to try a great restaurant, or, to check out a local store, and to be able to open up this app and have everything that I need at my fingertips is amazing. And I think one of the reasons why I love it so much is because, you're bringing up Yelp and some of these other location-based websites. Anyone can kind of go on and make a Yelp review. But with the GoNation app, you can see that people were really there because there's generally a photo, or, there's a location-based ping. So it really kind of gives you that extra added, like, oh, I can kind of take this review seriously because the person was actually there. It's not like an ex-employee that just went on Yelp and like blasted the restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the experience that we want our users to get, as well as the businesses. And one of the biggest things about the sharing your experience, is what we call it, is that we didn't want it to be bloated. We didn't want it to be like 4 paragraphs long, like Yelps are. Like, no one really cares what color the sky was and what you were wearing. And, the waitress had a pair of Converses on. All we care about, the food was great, the quality was great, the service was great, or I'm not going. It's like, that's all it is. So we wanted to make it feel like it was conversational, but to the point. And I think a lot of our users really felt that, because sometimes you only need to say 200 characters and you can get it out pretty clear what was right, what was wrong. And that's exactly what our experiences are. They're a photo or video, and it's 200 characters of what was great or what wasn't.
Now, the virtual world that we live in has grown exponentially for the past little over a month. We're all stuck at home, so we're all communicating online. Have you seen growth with GoNation?
Tremendous. Yeah. So what's interesting is we've been watching, we've been in the market for about 5 years, building websites and really working with a large customer base. The first 2 years were kind of 2 to 3 years, we're just figuring out this model and putting the two together. And what we've seen is that small businesses, even 3 months ago, they knew the website was important, but it still wasn't their number one. It wasn't their number two. It wasn't even their number 3. They just knew it was important. And they were finally accepting the fact that they had to be online. They just didn't know how to, or what extent they needed to be online. Anybody could get online with a 99-cent website or a $5,000 website. But if you can't change that website and communicate with your customers in a real-time basis, and when I say real-time, customers should be talked to morning, afternoon, and night, because each customer base is different and each thing you're offering is different. So you have this full flexibility to really tone in and target on that communication that customer at that time wants. And that's the type of website that you need. And what owners are realizing is that is the actual website that they need. They need to be able to change things as fast as they possibly can. They need to be able to communicate with their customers at different times, and they need to have full control. And that's really what it comes down to now. And as we thought we were going to kind of slow down in our growth as we were ramping up real heavily in February with almost 100% growth month over month. And what we realized is that it got a little shaky with customers calling and just really trying to navigate what they needed to do. And we were more of a support triage team and almost like an expert therapist for just explaining how the promotion works now, because it's now all online, and that's exactly what we do. But then it started turning into all of the customers that couldn't have the capability that our platform allowed. started reaching out to us and said, help me, do whatever you need to do. I need to get online and I need to have an incredible presence, not just a presence.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the real thing that kind of changed. Before it was just like, yeah, I just want a website. Yeah, I just need to get online. Yeah, I can't change my GoDaddy website fast enough. Can you hook me up? And then it turned into is, yeah, I've got all of these things and I'm online, but I don't have an incredible presence. I need to have full control. I need to be able to do it quickly. And I don't need any more expenses than I have or headaches.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really, it was really telling to what this impact has had on the industry, because basically a small business especially restaurants, turned in from a physical primary location
Mm-hmm.
to basically a full digital location. And that is something that they did not expect.
No, I mean, I don't think any of us really kind of expected it. And just to back up a little bit, because I think you brought up a very important point about being able to change the content. Can you explain to if there's a small business owner listening to this right now, can you explain to them why putting up a website and just having it be static in a regular, like pre-pandemic environment isn't the best way to go for promoting your business?
Absolutely. So the first reason I would say, and we'll go back to the core reason of why GoNation was created, was because the customer doesn't know what you have to offer right now.
Mm-hmm.
In a static world, it's called set it and forget it, right? Because you put it up and you just think that it's good enough, everything is up and I'm good. But yet no one knows what's happening in your restaurant right now, which is strange, because we go to these restaurants, especially millennials and Gen Z, for experiences, which means we want to know what's happening in your restaurant right now, so we can actually decipher if it's worth our time to participate.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a static website, you put up that menu, that PDF or that JPEG, which is just horrendous in multiple reasons, mainly because device not friendly. You're sitting here origamiing, trying to figure out what you're going to order on food instead of just pressing a button and doing a nice scroll. There's a lot of things with data-driven websites that static websites can't do. And why it's so important is that you have real-time communication with your target customer base based off the time of day that customer base is coming to you. And if you took a conversion model and said, well, if I have a static website and everything is the same all the time and I never change it, and every single day there's new people going to this website, how many am I actually converting to a customer? Versus if I was actually communicating with that target market every single day, when I have something changing in my business, which is always changing, how many can I convert with that opportunity? You can't compare the two. Mm-hmm. Because knowledge is how people make decisions. And you have to give these customers the best knowledge to make a good decision.
That's true. And now going forward, with the fact that we are in this kind of pandemic scenario, we don't know what's going to happen next. What are some of the benefits of a GoNation website and this GoNation capability with the app, being able to update everything in real time? What are some of the benefits for a small business owner who might be thinking like, hey, I have to kind of rethink everything?
So the first thing I would say is just like a general advice, be everywhere. You can't afford not to be. I've had customers call us up and say, should I do Uber Eats? Yes. Why not? If it's ringing, it was because it was coming from Uber Eats. Do you need to promote it on your website? No. Mm-hmm. So you can actually see if Uber Eats is working just as a platform, if you choose to use another online ordering system for your business, or you can use DoorDash, or you could use X, Y, and Z. The point is you want to be as many places as you possibly can, because the revenue needs to subside what you were doing actually in your physical business. Mm-hmm. If you have 100 chairs open, you need to figure out how you're going to get 100 chairs filled. Mm-hmm. And the idea is the more places you are, the more opportunity you have. Mm-hmm. Are some are going to take a percentage of commission? Absolutely. But you know what? You wouldn't have had the customer otherwise, unless you're putting them on your website and that's where you're directing these people. Well, then you're just handing 30% of your revenue away. Mm-hmm. So what GoNation is going to allow you to do, it's going to be able to update your website super fast. 2 clicks, mobile phone, don't need a desktop. You could do it anywhere you want. You could do it in your kitchen. We have chefs taking pictures of meals that they're doing, ready to go meals, full entree, appetizer, dessert, for $65 or $85, like Cast Iron Chef in New Haven. They take a picture, boom, they're in the kitchen. Here's exactly what you're getting. And it's up on their website in seconds. We have the ability to give you incredible SEO because the data is streaming and it's updating the indexing and search engines so that way you're able to be found faster. It's going to look incredible. And a lot of these websites, they look like shit. I mean, the bottom line is, like, in 2020, you shouldn't have a website that you can't view on a mobile phone very easily and very fast because your customer doesn't want to deal with it anymore. Especially now with all of your customers no longer having the ability to be a physical customer, they have to be a digital customer. So your presence should be incredible. And with GoNation, we agency brand websites using our website generator in 35 seconds and make you look like a rock star. And that's important right now because now your competition is literally everywhere because in one tap, I can just see where I'm going. So you better look the best or you're going to lose it to someone who does. And that doesn't mean your quality is better. That just means they were smarter and they did a better online presence for themselves. So the three key things I would say, GoNation as a platform, you could connect with small businesses fast and easy. You could search menu items. You can see what's happening. You can see what businesses are actually open versus not. A lot of the problem we've been hearing in the industry from restaurants and from consumers is that they don't know who's actually still open. One day they're open, next day they're not. One day they're changing their hours. There's so many things changing so rapidly that we really need to say, all right, where are we going to update this information and how can I find what's accurate? Because we don't have time for it. There is no time to fail. And our platform allows you to do that, which is really great. So we've noticed that from Fairfield County to Westchester, the usage on our platform from a customer standpoint has been very increased. They're looking for restaurants that are open. They're looking for menus faster. And we're doing a complete rebuild and relaunch from the first week in May, where this thing is going to, really help customers find out. You're going to be able to hit small businesses support button, and it's going to show everything that's open in real time. Customers will be able to communicate. Restaurants and small businesses will be able to communicate with the customer right then and there. All COVID support. We're doing a discounted website sale, so that way anybody who wants to switch and shift over to a better full online presence can get a GoNation website at a reduced rate. And we're also not charging subscriptions right now. So, there's a lot of benefits that our platform's offering small businesses, but also to the consumer.
Well, I'm basically now going to have to tell everybody this because it's really amazing. Yeah, we just did. So, I mean, I guess what the question is, and before we get to like the features that are to come, because I know you've been talking about you're working on some more things, you're going to be launching some more things in May. But just because you're talking about it, and I think you're going to have very interested parties, what is the best way to kind of reach out to you and say, hey, I want a GoNation website?
You could reach out to me personally, the CEO, Chaz, chaz@gonation.com. Email is not difficult. Or you can reach out to our support team. We have an incredible support team. It's something that we've been, working on consistently. We've been growing. We've had obviously growing pains, and support was one of them. But in this pandemic, we're all in till midnight working with our customers one-on-one, making sure that everyone is happy or as happy as they can be and successful online. So feel free to reach out to us at support@gonation.com or chaz@gonation.com. And we'd be happy to talk to you and see how we can help your business be better online.
And then from a user perspective, do I have to contact you to set up my own profile?
No, you can go to GoNation.com and sign up as you want to discover. It's right on the homepage. You have two options. You can either discover or be discovered. Be discovered's for small businesses and discovers for people in the area. Sign up. Within 16 seconds, you're in your city and you're seeing what's happening. Fairfield County, Connecticut, Westchester, Manhattan. We've got a lot of great content.
I love it. And I know I said this to you before we kind of hit record, but I work with someone who has a GoNation website. I told you it has been a lifesaver in this scenario because we are able to update it exactly how you said, right on our phones in a second, which has been incredible because, as you know, with the restaurants, with what's available, they're constantly pivoting. You kind of need that in this landscape. So thank you for developing a tool that, small business owners can use. It's been so important. Tell me a little bit about what's to come.
That's awesome to hear. So thank you. That always, it's a rough journey for us all. We're all in this together. So when customers or a user says that, it puts fire, behind us, and we need that. So thank you. What's to come? A lot. We've got a very aggressive May heading for GoNation, with texting loyalty, full online ordering, where the system is not going to just do food. It's going to be able to do everything from online ordering for restaurant food to pickup. Salons will be able to sell products. Gyms are now going to be able to do live events on their website using our portals. We're going to be redesigning the entire interface to be even more COVID-19 coronavirus friendly, where you can simply find out who's open very fast, one button, and boom, here's all the businesses, here's the menus. We've changed the user experience. A lot of really cool things. Multiple photos for your for businesses to share rather than single photos, and better integration with social media.
I love it.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. May is gonna be an interesting month.
Always moving and shaking.
Yeah, you gotta. Love the hustle.
You and I both. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on today's show. I greatly appreciate it. And again, cannot say enough about GoNation, and just really appreciate the fact that you have built a tool and a resource that, all small business owners should really be plugged into. So thank you so much.
I appreciate it, Kate. Thank you for having me.
Of course. We will be back next week with another really fantastic chef, so stay tuned. But in the meantime, I hope you live life deliciously.